good afternoon, Dr. Stansel. My name is Chingwen Candice Mon. Today is September 9th, and I am going to do the aseptic technique and culturing microbes part 2. So in part 1, I had to incubate the nutrient broth for 48 hours. And fortunately, I did see growth in all 3 cultures. So today I'm going to do part 2. So first, I have my alcohol ready here. 3 inoculation loops here that I'm going to set in the alcohol. I also have 3 agar plates. I labeled one that's E. coli, one that's S. cerevisiae, and one S. epidermidis. Next, I am just going to set my candle ready here. Okay. So first, I'm going to start with the E. coli one. So I'm just going to remove the cap and sterilize the lip of the test tube. Next, with the inoculation loop, I'm just going to make sure all the alcohol is off of it. I'm just going to insert the sterile loop into the broth, submerging it into the broth and transferring it onto the agar plate. So I'm just going to do in a zigzag position, only on one quarter of the plate. Okay, I'm gonna cover this, and then I'm gonna soak this in my alcohol. For about 20 seconds. Just going to flame the tip of the lip of the E. coli broth. And then I'm going to put the lid back on here because we don't need this one anymore. Okay, so now from the first quadrant, I'm just going to streak that into the second quadrant, going downward. Okay, then I'm going to close the lid and soak this in the alcohol for another 20 seconds. Okay, just gonna shake the alcohol dry. Next, I'm going to go from the second quadrant to the adjacent third quadrant. Okay, close the lid. Another 20 seconds. Okay, make sure all the alcohol's off. And then lastly, from the third quadrant to the adjacent fourth quadrant. Okay, put the lid on. So now I'm just going to dispose the inoculation tube. I'm going to put this one in the bleach for about 2 hours. I'm going to set the E. coli one aside. Next, I'm going to do the Aseptic. That's going to be this one. Okay, just going to heat up the lip of the nutrient broth. Make sure I get all the alcohol off the inoculation loop. Put the inoculation loop inside the broth. And I'm just going to put it in the first quadrant. Okay, and then I'm going to set that for 20 seconds. Make sure all the alcohol is off. So now I'm just going to go from the first quadrant to the second quadrant, adjacent second quadrant. Soak for another 20 seconds. Okay. Now from the second quadrant to the adjacent third quadrant. Okay. And lastly, from the third quadrant to the fourth quadrant. Okay. Just gonna put this one in the bleach. Set this one aside. Lastly, it's the S. epidermidis. remove the cap for this. I'm just gonna pass the lip through the flame for sterilization. Remove all the alcohol. Just the first quadrant. I pass the lip through the flame again so I can put the lid back on. Then we're going to go from this first quadrant to the adjacent second quadrant in a zigzag line. Okay, wait another 20 seconds. Make sure all the alcohol is off. So from the second quadrant to the third quadrant. Another 20 seconds. Last one from the third to the adjacent fourth quadrant. Okay, put that one in bleach for 2 hours. Okay, now these ones are going to be ready for incubation. So I'm going to keep the agar plates incubated, the agar side up, so inverted like this, for 48 hours in my incubation location, away from the light and any vents. I'm going to incubate these ones agar side up for 48 hours. After the 48 hours are up, I'm going to check to see if I see any colonies developing. If I do not see any growth, I'm going to incubate it for another 24 hours and complete the lab report with the pictures. So that's it. Thank you.